What's going on, Paul? How are you doing?
Fantastic. How are you, man?
I am good. Thank you for coming along. I appreciate
Happy
it.
to be here.
I know that you're a busy man, so I appreciate you taking time out of your day to let me pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. I mean, we're here for a short period of time. Might as well spread the knowledge, right?
Yes, sir. I agree. All right, so let's get started with a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Well, I'm Paul Guy. I'm a 30-year-old dental student here at Ohio State, and I don't know where you want the long or the short.
Let's go with whatever you want.
I've been basically everything from server, factory worker to professional baseball player, property manager. I grew up on a horse farm to some pretty great people, but we didn't have the best living circumstances. But it was still it was a good time. Learned a lot.
Yeah.
And right now I'm just working on in dental school.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit about your dentistry journey and plan and all that.
Well, I actually, when I was about 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be two things. I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and I wanted to be a dentist. But I mean, what kid doesn't want to be a professional baseball player when when he's young?
Right.
I've just been one of those weird guys that knew that he wanted to be a dentist at a really young age, and I knew that I was going to do anything and everything I could to become one, really.
Okay.
And that's pretty much with everything that I do. Anything that I've ever kind of started, whether it be my own business or with dentistry or even professional baseball player, I had to see it through.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, what school are you going to for this?
So right now I'm going to The Ohio State University. Actually, funny little story, I didn't end up getting into dental school first time around back in 2011. That's why I'm kind of a little bit older starting this journey in dental school. 2011 kind of rolled around and I applied and I didn't get in. I didn't have the best GPA. My overall GPA was like a 3.3, but my science was a 2.8, which is awful when it comes to getting into med school or dental school. So I said, okay, it's now or never with this professional baseball thing. So that's when I went the professional baseball route and ended up playing for 4 different teams over 3 seasons there. And then I was in a car accident, which kind of brought me back to dentistry. So yeah, I got my master's just to get my GPA up, and then I reapplied, and they let me in.
And how did you transition from all of that to the TikTok platform?
I honestly, I started a TikTok as a bit of a joke. It was I had some success on Instagram with Titan Games, being a semifinalist on there and being in the same kind of cohort as all the people that made it through to the end of the show, and just kind of networking with them and kind of piggybacking off them, and then own brand instead of being like a Titan game. So that's when the whole swole DDS thing, you know, I work out, I lift, and I'm going to be a dentist. So I'm hoping maybe I can kind of bridge the gap and show everybody that, you know, not all nerds are not athletic, you know? Or not all jocks are right. So I wanted to build my own brand, and that's the swole DDS thing. And I figured if I'm going to get the maximum amount of reach, I need to be on every platform that I could think of, really. And the only platforms that I'm on there as my brand name, Swole DDS, is TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm just as Paul Guy. I don't really use Facebook a whole lot, just because the advertising and whatnot isn't really ideal. So I'm actually going to be shifting more towards YouTube because their advertising is actually really good, especially for a small business or a young entrepreneur, because you pay by the consumption versus the view,
yeah,
or the play. So again, I started TikTok as a joke and to get better at public speaking because I'm awful at it. And one thing led to another. I started having a lot of fun with it, and I started connecting with everybody that comments, follows. I connected with you.
Mm-hmm.
And not just on TikTok, just across platforms, because I think it means more to people when you connect with them on TikTok or one social media, and you
Carry it over.
go to an yes, exactly. You cross over to another one because Instagram content is much different than TikTok content.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows that you're interested in that as a person rather than just an account.
Yeah. And did you kind of follow any other professionals that were on TikTok? Because the stigma around TikTok, is that it's only for 13-year-olds, this and that, like it's a joke, like nothing real is going to come out of it. Like, what was your mentality behind that?
Well, actually, so if you're on TikTok, you've probably heard of the Dentist. He was the first small business owner to really get on TikTok and gain some notoriety. Now he's almost like 2 million followers, which is incredible because he's such a great dude. I actually connected with him on Instagram, and I saw a couple of his posts. They were just kind of funny, comical. I'm like, okay, I enjoy these. And then he kept like saying like TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And I'm like, okay, he's actually the guy. I talked to him a few times in his DMs, and he's actually the guy that got me kind of going more towards the TikTok. I'm like, all right, well, he's having fun. He's also a dentist, orthodontist. Why can't I? And then I go over there and I'm seeing a bunch of doctors, other dentists, dental students, med students, people that are like fit doctors that you can really connect with because you kind of have that in common, and it just kind of your network just gets bigger and bigger and bigger when you connect with these people. There's a couple plastic surgeons on there that I've really connected with too, and that are really great dudes that they're super popular on Instagram and TikTok, and they've kind of been able to kind of cross platforms and bring that audience with them, and you can kind of see that when you connect with them, your audience gets bigger, especially if you can collaborate and you have the same kind of route, desires, wants out of the social media. And yeah, TikTok's great and fun, but it's also a great way of spreading knowledge. My thing is peace, love, and positivity, because there's so much negativity out in this world. Darkness, why not be that little flicker of light? Because I've had a rough go. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I downplay it a lot, but I mean, you're just kind of a product of your circumstance. It's all about how you handle it, how you react to what happens. Exactly how you respond. That really ultimately determines how everything plays out.
Have you gotten any hate on TikTok for being a professional on TikTok?
I've actually been blessed enough to have a lot of people that are super supportive up front. I'm like, this is my page. This is how I'm running it. And if you can take that hate somewhere else,
right.
I've only actually had to block about 3 people out of the. I think I'm out of like 20-some thousand today followers, and that's not even really my goal. Granted, followers is a great reach kind of statistic, but my goal is to create quality content and create quality connections, because that means more than a number, because there are so many bot accounts that just follow because they follow, and then you're like, oh, more likely to follow them back. When I'd rather connect with people than just gather a bunch of followers. That's why I'm not stingy with the following. Anybody that shows love, duets one of my videos, or connects with me on Instagram, I'm right back with them following on TikTok, because it's all about spreading that love and really connecting.
Yeah, and I think that's a plan that's going to, in the long run, lead to a lot of good things, because you never know what someone can offer you. You never know what that certain someone that you connected with 2 months ago, all of a sudden has this and that, and they want you to be a part of it, and there you go, you've opened a new window for yourself. I think that's awesome.
absolutely. Or what you could provide to them. Even in my, I don't like to say it, but like everybody in my dental school knows who I am, even if I don't know them. So it's like that celebrities that don't like that, a little bit more of a kind of presence where people will actually come to me asking me for help, or I actually had a couple. Don't want to go down like kind of the sad route, but I had a couple students that were really struggling with family things and school things, and they confided in me certain details I won't divulge, but it was a very scary place for them, and I was able to help them through. And that was, me being in the health profession, healthcare, I want to help people, and even though I'm not a psychologist, I'm not really equipped to handle some stuff like that. I was at least able to get them to the right people and kind of calm their energy to be like, it's going to be okay, So that's more rewarding than anything.
That's awesome, dude. So you mentioned something about the Titan games, the show. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I think that is so awesome.
Well, it was really cool. It was about 2 years ago that I got a DM from one of my followers. They said, "Hey, you need to apply for this because this is right up your alley." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they sent me the link to the Titan Games application. I'm like, "Okay." I was supposed to be studying for anatomy, but I'm a master procrastinator. So that application was like 30 pages.
Wow.
It was like, I think it was 20 questions, and they were all essay format. It wasn't like simple yes or no.
Right.
Basically, your whole life story. And on top of that, you had to make a video and send in. So I'm like, okay, why not? What the hell? Or what the heck? Excuse me.
You're good. This is unfiltered, man. You do you.
Okay. I was just like, you know what? Why not? Let's do this. I submitted it, and then like 3 weeks went by. I completely forgot about it, and one of the producers contacted me and said, "Hey, we really like your stuff. Can you send us a better video?" Like, I've never made videos before, like what they wanted. So I'm like, okay, let me work on it. So like 2-3 weeks later, I make my audition tape, and I got an invite out to Burbank, California, and I got to have some fun with 100 other incredibly, insanely fit athletes. And I got to build connections there, which it was just like the TikTok thing, but it was a small niche group that got to go through this little thing that not many people have gone through. So it was almost like that brotherhood, like what I had with baseball. And it was such a great experience. Made a lot of friends, a lot of connections. Actually, one of the people I met down there, Chris Rudin on Instagram, he's a motivational speaker with diabetes and a limb difference. So he has this bionic hand, which is awesome. He's hilarious with his stunts that he pulls with it. But he has a business that he asked me to do an ad for that I recently posted on my Instagram and TikTok, which I have a beef with TikTok that fitness videos don't do so hot.
This is true. I can attest to that. This is very true.
But it's just like those connections are invaluable. You can't buy that. You can't fake that. So it's just really cool. But as far as the selection process went for the show, I was one of 100 that got invited to compete. But I was one of the 34 or 36 that didn't make it, but I was an alternate. If somebody got hurt, they said that they would send me out. So I was just kind of hanging back. The fact that I lived in Ohio also kind of counted against me because it would have cost more to fly me out and put me up for longer. Right. So the local people ended up getting a little bit more favoritism. So just more of the luck of the draw and Hollywood. Got the story, but it's just more of like, show me the money kind of
right,
thing. So,
yeah. And talk to us a little bit about like I'm assuming the freaks of nature that you met at this show.
Well, honestly, I would say probably of the 64 that made it, there was probably four guys that would have really given me a run for my money.
Oh wow. Okay.
On the show, and one of them was the guy that won it. He's just a freak of nature bodybuilder. And then there's a couple others. One's a professional strongman, and another one was a professional wide receiver and now turned yogi.
Wow.
So like, I'm competing against those guys, and my fat ass is over here kind of like being strong. That's all I got. So it's just like, you never know until you know, because and part of me thinks it's like Hollywood too. So
right.
I don't know how much of it's real, because it's very large and paramount freaking what do you call them, events that aren't typical, so you can't really train for them.
Right.
You just kind of have to brute strength. But yeah, that's all in all, there were quality top athletes, and just to be considered in the top 100 out of the 100,000 people I think that applied was really quite an accomplishment, I guess, for me, because every chance I had.
Right.
So it's.
What do you? What do you?
A little bit of an echo. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. What do you think went into like the process of selecting the individuals that were going to be a part of the show?
So it was nice to finally be chosen for something out of a bunch of people in order to, compete for a chance at this show.
Mm-hmm.
I was always picked last on the recess basketball court or any other team. Not many coaches thought that I'd ever even get to D1. They didn't even think I'd make D3, let alone D1 at Ohio State. So it was nice to finally be chosen for something out of thousands and thousands of people. So I think part of it was my fitness level, but I also had a pretty good story. I was homeless for a while. I worked so many different jobs, and just the fact that I got to where I was, and now I'm a dental student and a lieutenant in the U.S. Army and all that stuff, it kind of played a decent role in my selection, I'm sure. But I think ultimately, there was a female with the exact same story, and she had 2 kids. So it is Hollywood after all, and I think if you're a mom and doing everything that I just did, you're probably having a rougher go.
They're going to favor that one, yeah. Okay, and so I didn't know that you had gone through homelessness and stuff like that. So what do you think is the biggest personal attribute that took you from that state to where you're at now?
I would probably say that my best attribute that has gotten me everywhere, everything that I could have possibly wanted, is my never giving up, can-do kind of attitude. No matter what, I've just stayed true to what I wanted most and went for it. I never wanted to wonder what if.
Right.
Why didn't I do this, or what would have happened if I did? So definitely I'm not going to give up.
Mm-hmm.
This is mine. I want it. Give it to me. I'm going to work my ass off for it.
And do everything I got to do to make it. Yeah, I like that. So where do you see this whole TikTok and personal brand thing taking you? What's the goal? What's the next objective?
Well, I think that just TikTok and Instagram can just kind of synergistically work together to just build notoriety and recognition. I just want to be able to go out and some random person just recognize my last name enough to not, 1, pronounce it wrong, or 2, spell it incorrectly. I would like to use social media just to gain a little bit of notoriety. I don't want to be Kanye West famous.
Right.
Nobody wants that fame.
Yeah.
But I just want to use the platforms that I have to, 1, lift others up, 2, obviously there is some personal gain. I'd like to have this make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Student loans are no joke. So, ultimately just want to keep trucking along and having fun with it, because that's what's really important. And
Right.
meeting people like you and building that network of people that you want to go to war with.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. It sounds like you have your head on your shoulders, and I really, really respect that.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's part of where I came from, but it's I don't know, it's one of those things where you don't know where you learned it or what. It just kind of is a part of you. Maybe I'm weird.
No, not at all. That makes perfect sense. I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
Doing your thing too, so.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. When I saw you put that comment on my video, I appreciate the support and everything. So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You get what you get, right?
Yes,
or
sir.
You get what you get.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you, Paul, for your time. Thank you for doing this with me. And we'll stay in contact. Let's keep this connection going. And I wish you nothing but the best, and Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Thank you, too. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and let's keep it rolling. Spread that positivity. Keep doing your thing. I got no doubts you're going to be super successful. So it's been an honor.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Take it easy, all right?
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.